It's Charter Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance in Lansing. Today we are joined by John Prose. He is a member of the Michigan State Senate. And I want to honor you for what you're doing. I'm a guy, and I'm focused on my wife, my daughters, and I'm always concerned about their health. And finally, my wife got me to go to the doctor. I'm okay. Things are good.
That's a good news.
Yeah, it's good news, but it's so easy for men to just blow off the doctor. We're fine. We feel great.
Absolutely. And being the son of a doctor,
Oh.
all I had to do was go home and say,
Right.
hey, Dad, it hurts when I do this.
Right.
So he says, don't do that.
Right.
Well, that's kind of the way I think we guys treat our health. I'm not hurt. I feel fine. I sprained my ankle playing hoops. It's all good. We don't need to worry much more about it. But the fact is that we're 100 times less likely to go to the doctor than our wives are, or our significant others in our lives, or the women in our lives.
Right.
And it matters to our families because of heart disease, because of the issues that we could catch early, heart disease, prostate cancer. You go on and on with the chronic illnesses that we could otherwise have and not even know.
Well, I'll go there. I had a physical, and the doctor asked me, do you want a prostate exam? Well, did I want it? Not necessarily, but of course, it's important.
That's exactly right.
And so she then asked, do you want your wife to leave the room? And I said, no, it's okay.
Right.
And she proceeded to tell me how so many men, they either don't want it, won't do it, or make their wives leave. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, this is your health.
Right, exactly.
You know, excuse my use of dude, but you know what I'm saying?
No, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And I think the guys that would be listening right now and seeing us talk about this issue are just like you and me. We really don't even want to face the fact that what if I go, they might find something, but that's the whole point. Go so that if there is something, you know, I lost a good buddy a couple of years ago. He and I were classmates, we were in each other's weddings, best of friends, and he died of cancer. We all have stories like this. I don't know that it would have saved him if it had been found sooner, but maybe he would have had more time to live had it been found sooner.
Sir, this past weekend, literally this past weekend, I got a call coming home from my daughter's soccer tournament that an old friend of mine, 52 years old, died of a heart attack.
That's right.
He was at a party. You go to his Facebook page. There are pictures of him at a party on Saturday night.
Just hours
on
before.
Sunday, he's gone.
That's right.
And look, he was a bigger guy, but not obese.
Right.
He's kind of a bigger guy.
Right.
And I have no idea what happened with him specifically, but my gut tells me that with him or others, there were signs. His arm was hurting. He was out of breath. Something had to be going on.
That's right. And we can take responsibility for that, because even if we've made bad choices in health in our lives, the moment that we take responsibility for that we get the physical evaluation, have a physician check us out, make sure that everything is good to go, we can then begin to take control of that, whether it be through exercise or diet or otherwise. But I think what's really important is that we shed light on this so that it isn't just the macho thing to do not to go. Instead, the macho thing to do, the real man thing to do, is to man up and go see your physician to make sure everything's okay.
And you're a man when you take care of your family.
Amen.
And if you're not there, you're not a man.
That's exactly
right. You have literally shirked on your responsibilities. I'm not, you
That's
know where I'm
exactly
going.
right.
Another thing that happened to me recently, it's not all about me, but I use it as a metaphor.
Right.
So I had a significant birthday, and it was time for my first colonoscopy. And I cannot tell you
how many... I haven't quite gotten there
Yeah,
yet,
okay,
but it's
so
coming.
it's coming. But I cannot tell you how many people said, you're gonna hate it, the prep is horrendous. Senator, it really wasn't that bad.
And if that's what it takes to make sure that everything is okay, and to make sure, and this is one of those that if they find problems, almost all of those times it's preventable.
Completely.
Because they're able to remove those polyps, take care of everything just like that. Done.
A polyp and it's gone.
That's right.
I want to talk about mental health because that really is an area where men completely shut down.
Absolutely.
And look, depression is as prevalent in men as it is in women, and vice versa.
Absolutely.
And yet, the number of men who seek help for depression, anxiety, it pales in comparison.
You know, you can even boil this down to an economic issue, because it severely impacts the success of the family. It severely impacts the success of that individual if he or she is the breadwinner. In this case, we're talking about men's health, so
course.
men who are unable to function because of whatever mental illness that may exist. Mental illness is not the negative that it once was. We now recognize it for what it is, which is just as bad as any other chronic illness.
You know what? I agree with you. I do think the stigma has faded, but I got to be honest with you. I don't see the guys watching Sunday football being willing to fess up to depression.
Which is exactly why we have to face this head on.
Right.
Because that is, it's a breadwinning issue, it's an economic issue, it's a physical health issue, because those mental health issues then start to break down the physical health over time. Which is why it's so very important that every year in June we have the Senate identifying this as Men's Health Week. We pass a resolution every year, we draw attention to men's health. And we should draw attention to women's health too. We know that there's the Red Dress campaign for women's cardiovascular health. But cardiovascular disease is a huge problem for men too. We need to break down the stigma that you're identifying today. You were man enough to say, you're fine, please check out to make sure I'm okay.
Right.
That's a good thing. That's the kind of example that you need to set. And frankly, it's the example I need to set for my 3 kids.
And when you look at depression and what depression can lead to, it can lead to suicide. And sadly, when we look at the suicide rates, men are significantly more likely than women to try to kill themselves and or be successful with their attempt. And sadly, I'm not surprised, because we don't get help.
Right. We're not taught to reach out.
Yeah,
we're not taught to say that there's a problem and is there anybody that can assist? Is there somebody that can help me figure out how to manage what has become unmanageable for me? And if that's the choice, that the only way out is suicide, that destroys everybody around you, including yourself. And that we need to find ways for men to be able to reach out to individuals that can help them.
So as part of Men's Health Week in Michigan, as part of, is it Blue Monday?
Blue Monday.
Where we're trying to call attention. What type of reaction are you receiving? Are the guys taking it the way we intend it to be taken? Or are they still kind of looking at it, I'm fine, I don't need anything?
I'd like to think we're making progress, but I think the latter is probably true. I think you're right. I think that the chances are that folks are having a hard time saying, hey, look, I've got to go take care of myself.
Right.
But when you couch it as a family, and you asked this question earlier, it is the right thing to do for your kids, for your wife, for your family. Make sure that you're up to speed and up to the kind of health standards that you need to have to survive, to be a breadwinner, to be a father, to be a wife, or a husband in this case.
Do you have sons?
I have 1 son and 2 daughters, yes.
Right, so I have daughters, and parenting them is one way, parenting a boy is another.
Absolutely.
And so how do you, and give us some advice for those of us that are fathers to sons, how do you talk to them about health? Physical, mental, otherwise?
By example, more than anything else. So for me, my mental health is significantly improved, and my wife knows this to be true. Hey, John, go run. Get out of the house, because you're not being any help to us right now, because you're just a bear. Well, you're a bear because I haven't yet gotten my mental health right. So when you can combine the mental and physical together, which for me, the physical then is getting out there, sweating, going for a long run. It's me, it's quiet. That becomes the mental stimulus too. And we know physiologically, those are the endorphins that get kicking. And when that happens, everything kind of balances itself out. And I come back and I'm a heck of a lot better dad. Right? But that's the example that my kids see all the time. So as soon as I finish a run, or ask them to participate, or do the 5K with me for that fundraiser in town for breast cancer awareness, or whatever the fundraiser is that we do runs all the time, my kids join me. The example, I think, becomes the best way to manage it.
Senator, I want to thank you for bringing attention to these issues. They're critically important. His name is John Prose. He is a member of the Michigan State Senate. My name is Brad Pomerance in Lansing. It's Charter Local Edition.